Now if the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being. Rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal where he was filming everybody, right? That's the rumors, yeah. I don't know that there's any proof or anything other than that. 2024 is shaping up to be the year of revelations, and no one is safe, especially not the Hollywood elites. Big names are being dragged through the mud, and the headlines just keep getting juicier by the day. If you thought Katt Williams was done airing out dirty laundry in Hollywood, think again. He's back at it, and this time he's got Steve Harvey in his sights. But this isn't just a celebrity feud, oh no, it goes way deeper. We're talking secrets that have been festering for decades, blackmail, betrayal, and parties that'll make your head spin. So buckle up because we're diving headfirst into the rabbit hole of Hollywood's most shocking scandals, and trust us, things are about to get messy. Diddy was taken into custody. He is seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs. Now, if you remember Katt Williams' infamous sit-down with Shannon Sharpe earlier this year, you'll know that Katt didn't hold back. He dropped bomb after bomb about Diddy, Steve Harvey, and a bunch of other A-listers. You could almost hear jaws dropping across the internet. The truth is, Katt has been warning us for years, Hollywood is a twisted place, and the people at the top have secrets they'll do anything to keep buried. But 2024 is proving to be the year those secrets come to light, and it's all starting with Diddy and Steve Harvey. Diddy controlled every aspect of her life. He is accused of frequently beating her and would hide her in hotel rooms for days until the bruising and signs of abuse were gone. During that interview with Shannon Sharpe, Katt made some wild claims about Diddy's parties. Now, if you know anything about Diddy, you've probably heard the rumors swirling around his legendary mansion parties. And let's just say these weren't your typical industry gatherings. According to Katt, these parties had a darker side, with things going on behind closed doors that would make even the most seasoned Hollywood insider raise an eyebrow. Katt even mentioned being offered millions, 4 times, in fact, to protect his integrity. And what was he protecting it from exactly? Well, according to Katt, Diddy had some pretty wild requests, and let's just say Katt wasn't interested in partaking. You gotta tell him no, Katt said. P. Diddy be wanting to party, and you gotta tell him no. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way knows why they take it the wrong way. That's a direct quote from Katt's conversation with Shannon Sharpe, and it's safe to say that sparked the wildfire. But the bombshells didn't stop there. Katt went on to talk about Steve Harvey, and this is where things get really interesting. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything, Mark claimed. Yes, the same Steve Harvey we all know from Family Feud has been Diddy's slave for years. And why? Well, it all comes down to some tapes that Diddy allegedly has on Steve from those infamous mansion parties. The implication here is clear, Steve's been blackmailed, forced into silence and submission because Diddy's got the dirt. And we're not just talking about rumors here, Katt strongly hinted that there's actual video evidence. In this lawsuit, it's claimed that P. Diddy was essentially the Epstein of rap. Let's rewind a little bit. In case you didn't know, Steve Harvey and Diddy go way back. They've been friends for years, with their relationship dating as far back as 2005. And that's not all, Steve's stepdaughter Lori Harvey has also been romantically linked to Diddy. That's right, Lori, who was only 22 at the time, was seen hanging out with Diddy, sparking rumors about the relationship. But here's where it gets even juicier. Before Diddy, Lori was reportedly linked to Diddy's son, Justin Combs. Yeah, let that sink in for a minute. A lot of the alleged evidence gathered in this case came from 2 raids conducted on Diddy's personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. The indictment names videos he allegedly made of these performances, referred to as freak-offs. Katt, being the Hollywood insider that he is, wasn't going to let this one slide. He dropped the bomb that Steve might have actually encouraged Lori to get involved with Diddy, and not just for love, oh no. According to Katt, this was all about keeping things quiet. Steve Harvey allegedly allowed Lori to get close to Diddy as part of some larger scheme, one that involved keeping Steve's own secrets buried. "They just tell stories," Katt said. "This man thanks his wife. I'm where I am because of her." "You said that about the first wife. You forget." Katt even said that Steve views Lori as nothing more than an ATM card, suggesting that Harvey's motives were far from paternal. But let's be real, this is Katt Williams we're talking about, and when he gets going, the shade is endless. Lori and Diddy were spotted all over the place back in 2019, from Cabo San Lucas to Italy, with the media going wild over their globe-trotting adventures. They even dined with Lori's parents, Steve and Marjorie Harvey, during a trip to Italy. And that, my friends, is where people really started connecting the dots. How could Steve be okay with his stepdaughter dating a man 27 years older than her, especially when that man had been romantically linked to her ex-boyfriend, his own son, Justin? Ex-boyfriend, his own son, Justin. Stand-up comedian, entertainer, television host, family man, but most importantly, I happen to be a man of faith. It's the kind of twisted Hollywood drama you just can't make up. But Katt Williams wasn't done. He wasn't just calling out Steve for being okay with Lori's relationship, he was suggesting that Steve was actively complicit in keeping things quiet. And that's when the rumors of blackmail started flying. According to Katt, Steve had attended some of Diddy's notorious parties back in the 90s and early 2000s, and Diddy allegedly recorded him. That's the secret Katt's hinting at, the leverage that Diddy has been holding over Steve's head for years, complete with very serious and salacious allegations, including claims that Diddy had cameras. Now, if you thought this was just a one-time thing, think again. Katt's got a history of going after Steve Harvey, and the beef between these two has been brewing for a long time. In fact, during that same interview with Shannon Sharpe, Katt didn't hold back. He ripped into Steve, calling him a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good and look like Mr. Potato Head. And that wasn't all. Katt claimed that Steve stole material from fellow comedian Mark Curry and used it to launch his own sitcom, The Steve Harvey Show, back in the day. Why would you do all of that man's stuff that he did on his show on yours and then do the dude stand-up? You go on the road? Let's break that down for a second. Katt accused Steve of straight-up stealing the idea for his show from Mark Curry, another comedian who had his own sitcom called Hanging with Mr. Cooper. According to Katt, Steve attended one of Mark's live tapings and then went on to create a show where he played a similar character, a principal who wore a suit and ran a school. The shade was real, and Katt didn't mince words. He basically accused Steve of being a fraud who built his career on the backs of other people's work. Meanwhile, the special housing unit where Diddy is reportedly held is a 24-hour lockdown. This means any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, including leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3, staff members escorting them. But Katt didn't stop at the past. He went in hard on Steve's present-day career, too. He brought up the fact that Steve Harvey supposedly retired from stand-up comedy after losing a comedy battle to Katt himself. According to Katt, this went down in Detroit in front of a crowd of 10,000 people. And the reason Steve lost? Katt says it's because he exposed Steve for wearing a wig. Yep, you heard that right. Katt claims that Steve's iconic bald head isn't all it seems and that he actually wore a wig for years, hiding the truth from everyone. And when Katt called him out on stage, it was game over. Steve, according to Katt, couldn't handle the heat and decided to step away from stand-up altogether. Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? They asked Katt. His response, what do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. Of course, Steve Harvey has denied all of this, but the fact remains, Katt Williams is relentless. He's been calling out Steve for years, and it seems like 2024 is the year he's finally getting some vindication. Why? Because Diddy, the man at the center of all these allegations, is finally facing serious legal trouble. And this time, it's not just rumors. In federal court, for these charges, they'd say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, an observer noted. Just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades, this is quite the downfall. From the mansions that were raided back in March to now being in a jail cell, the contrast is stark. Federal authorities recently raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami, looking for evidence in connection with a major investigation. And what's the investigation about, you ask? It's looking into some seriously shady activities that Diddy's been linked to for years. And if the allegations are true, this could spell disaster for a whole lot of people, Steve Harvey included. Clearly, there's a criminal investigation underway, and authorities believe they'll find evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes. Katt has been dropping hints for a while now, saying that 2024 would be the year Hollywood's darkest secrets come to light. And with Diddy's recent arrest, it's starting to look like he was right. The FBI, along with other law enforcement agencies, is investigating Diddy for a whole range of crimes, and it's not looking good for the music mogul. And here's where things get interesting: if Diddy goes down, he's not going down alone. According to Katt, there are a lot of big names involved in this mess, and Steve Harvey is one of them. There are some problems the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like just from reading this 14-page indictment, there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations. This is where the parallels to R. Kelly's case come into play. Remember how R. Kelly's downfall started with whispers and rumors, and then all of a sudden, the legal system caught up with him? Well, many are saying that Diddy's case is shaping up to be just like that. Diddy, like Kelly, is a hugely influential figure in the music industry, and for years he's managed to keep his reputation relatively clean despite the swirling rumors. But with this investigation heating up, it seems like the law is finally catching up to him. Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go, and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in. Katt has been saying for years that these Hollywood elites aren't as untouchable as they seem. All these big deviants are all catching hell in 2024, Katt said recently, adding that it doesn't matter if you're Diddy, Steve Harvey, or any other big name, if you've got secrets, they're coming out this year. Katt also mentioned that he's been collecting information for 30 years and is now ready to expose everything. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it, he said. According to Katt, this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it. So what does this mean for Steve Harvey? Well, if Katt's to be believed, it means that Steve could be facing some serious fallout from his association with Diddy. Katt's been hinting for months that there's more to the story, and with Diddy now in the legal crosshairs, it's only a matter of time before more names start getting dragged into the mix. Then you ask, why are you not a movie star? Katt replied, I didn't want to be a movie star. Katt pointed out that this is the same individual who hated on Bernie Mac in similar ways. And let's not forget, Katt's been talking about receipts. He's hinted that he has proof of everything he's been saying, and if that proof comes to light in a courtroom, it could be game over for a lot of people. Steve Harvey's career, his reputation, and his family legacy could all be on the line. This whole situation is just starting to unfold, but one thing is clear: the drama between Katt Williams, Steve Harvey, and Diddy is far from over. And with Diddy's legal troubles worsening by the day, the stakes couldn't be higher. The question is, how far will this go? Is Diddy going to remain in jail in this facility until the trial begins? Is there a chance he could get moved earlier than that? As of this moment, as of this hour, as of today, yes. But, of course, as mentioned earlier, they're going to be appealing this to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn the judge's order and try to get him released to his mansion. Here's where it all gets even crazier. Diddy's recent arrest wasn't just some random event, it was the culmination of years of rumors, whispers, and wild accusations finally catching up to the man who once seemed untouchable. And if you think it's just about him, think again. This is about the whole inner circle, and names like Steve Harvey are right there in the mix. But what exactly went down, and why now? The issue seems to be that Diddy wanted to exert power and dominance over people who didn't really want it. Diddy's been under the radar for a while despite all the headlines and scandals over the years. But earlier this year, it all came crashing down when federal agents raided his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Yes, you heard that right, multiple properties, multiple locations. Law enforcement agencies didn't just walk up to the front door, either. They came prepared, arriving by boat and taking Diddy's compounds by storm. And get this, they even detained his sons, Justin and King Combs, while they searched the properties. While it was later clarified that his sons weren't arrested, you have to wonder why such a heavy-handed operation was necessary for someone as high-profile as Diddy. Stacey Schneider said, "Today's indictment reads like a mob indictment." What was most shocking? The fact that the government, in this indictment, presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise. The Southern District of New York, the same district that took down R. Kelly, is leading the investigation. And let's just say, they don't play around. This is the same group that specializes in taking down powerful, untouchable figures who have been skirting the law for years. They're not interested in just slapping Diddy on the wrist, they're out to dismantle an entire network. They're using the same tactics they used to bring down R. Kelly, where they linked together years of accusations and rumors, connecting the dots in ways that left no room for doubt. Now, here's the thing. Diddy's case isn't just some minor legal hiccup. The charges against him are serious, including racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in illegal activities. If convicted, Diddy could be looking at a lifetime behind bars. The fact that the Southern District is involved tells you everything you need to know about how big this is. They don't go after small fish. So why now? Diddy's been skating by for years, despite all the wild stories swirling around him, from rumors of infamous mansion parties to whispers about his shady business dealings. One theory floating around is that Diddy may have been playing both sides all along. There's speculation that he's been working with authorities as some kind of informant. Think about it, how has he managed to get away with so much for so long? The conspiracy theory suggests that Diddy, knowing he was involved in shady business, started cooperating with the FBI or other agencies to protect himself. In exchange for information, he was allowed to continue living his lavish lifestyle while others around him faced consequences. Another big name in the industry has hinted at this for years, suggesting Diddy has avoided serious legal trouble because of his connections to powerful people. But now, with the investigation heating up, it seems the protection might have run out. People on his side, clients, describe NBC as having the worst conditions they've been in. According to Suge, Diddy's been working for both sides for a long time. If that's true, it would explain a lot. It would explain why, despite being connected to all sorts of scandals, Diddy always seemed to land on his feet. But now things are different. Maybe the authorities don't need him anymore. Maybe they've got all the information they wanted, and now it's Diddy's turn to face the music. Do you believe Diddy is a dangerous person? Yes. And here's where it gets even crazier. Could Katt Williams have been right this whole time? Remember, Katt's been talking for years about the dark side of Hollywood and how these big names are all part of some twisted game. He's hinted that there's a secret network running things, and now, with Diddy's arrest, it's starting to look like Katt wasn't just talking for the sake of it. I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it, Katt said. He's been saying for months that 2024 would be a year of reckoning, and here we are, watching Diddy's empire crumble. All right, I've got to take some time to address this now. Let's not forget the other players in the story, people like Steve Harvey, who've been associated with Diddy for years. Steve's friendship with Diddy goes way back, and now, with Diddy facing serious legal trouble, you have to wonder, how deep does Steve's involvement go? Could he be caught up in this mess too? After all, Katt has been very vocal about Steve's connection to Diddy, suggesting that Steve has been blackmailed for years. If Diddy's empire is falling apart, it's not a stretch to think that the people close to him could get dragged down with him. People get caught up in the illusion of Hollywood, they really get caught up in it. And that's not just speculation. There's a reason Katt Williams has been hinting at Steve Harvey's role in all of this. He's called Steve out for being part of Diddy's inner circle, suggesting that Steve attended those infamous parties and got involved in things he'd rather the public not know about. According to Katt, Diddy has been using that dirt to keep Steve in line, and now that Diddy's facing the music, it's only a matter of time before Steve's name gets dragged into the scandal as well. And let me tell you something else, not only should Diddy have apologized to Cassie in that video, but he should have also apologized to the general public for the lies he told. In fact, the rumors about Steve Harvey are already starting to circulate again, with people questioning his involvement in Diddy's world. The fact that Steve's stepdaughter Lori Harvey was romantically linked to Diddy and then to his son just adds another layer of intrigue. Was Steve complicit in that relationship to keep Diddy quiet about his own secrets? Katt seems to think so, and if he's right, Steve could be in serious trouble. We all saw it posted yesterday across social media pages. Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy. She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse. So, what happens next? Well, Diddy's legal troubles are just beginning. The Southern District of New York isn't known for going easy on people, and they're going to come after Diddy with everything they've got. If the R. Kelly case is anything to go by, this investigation could take years, and more people could get caught up in it as the truth comes out. Steve Harvey, as one of Diddy's longtime friends and alleged collaborators, could find himself facing serious consequences as well. But let's talk more about this whole conspiracy theory that Diddy was an informant. If it's true, it could explain why so many people in the industry have been dragged down while Diddy has remained untouched. Suge, for instance, has been calling out Diddy for years, suggesting that Diddy's been playing both sides of the game. If Diddy really was working with the authorities, that would explain why he's been able to keep his empire intact for so long. But now, if that's no longer the case, Diddy could be in a world of trouble. I hung the phone up. I went upstairs. I said, "Marjorie, we've got a problem." When I explained it to her, Marjorie started crying. And speaking of trouble, let's get back to the charges Diddy's facing. The Southern District of New York isn't just interested in his personal life, they're going after his entire operation. Racketeering charges are no joke, they're designed to take down entire criminal organizations. If they're using those charges against Diddy, it means they believe he's been running more than just a music label. This could be about money laundering, illegal business deals, or even more sinister activities. And if Diddy's been involved in this for years, it's not just him who's at risk, everyone in his orbit, including friends, business partners, and yes, even people like Steve Harvey, could be dragged into this mess. Of course, there are layers upon layers when you get into these conspiracy theories. They never end. There's just layer upon layer. This is where the parallels to R. Kelly's case come in. The Southern District used RICO laws to take down Kelly, and they're using the same tactics against Diddy. RICO laws are powerful tools because they allow prosecutors to go after not just the individual but the entire organization. If they can prove that Diddy used his power and influence to engage in illegal activities, he could be facing a life sentence. Unlike R. Kelly, Diddy has been at the top of his game for decades, which means the fallout from this case could be massive. As the investigation unfolds, more details will emerge, and the implications could be devastating for everyone involved. And we're likely to see more big names getting dragged into the mix. If Katt Williams is right, this is just the beginning. He's been saying for years that Hollywood's darkest secrets are about to be exposed, and now it seems like those predictions are coming true. Whether or not Katt will be called as a witness in Diddy's case remains to be seen, but given his history of calling out Diddy and others in Hollywood, it wouldn't be surprising if his name came up in court. This has to be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of the incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold, austere facility. So, the question now is, who's next? If Diddy is going down, will Steve Harvey be next in line? Could we see other big names in Hollywood face the same fate? And how deep does this conspiracy really go? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. The next few months are going to be wild, and as more details come out, we're going to see just how far-reaching this scandal really is. In the meantime, keep your eyes peeled for updates because things are heating up fast. Diddy's empire is crumbling, and it's only a matter of time before more big names get caught in the fallout. Will Steve Harvey be one of them? Only time will tell, but if Katt Williams has anything to say about it, it's going to be a wild ride. So, what do you think? Is Steve Harvey really tied up in all of this? Has Diddy been pulling the strings behind the scenes for years, or is Katt Williams just stirring the pot? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, stay tuned and stay curious.